Hello, it's the Fly Foot Doctor. Long time no talk. So today I want to be talking about things that cause your foot to sweat, why it sweats, and what are the things that you can do at home to get rid of it. If this is something you would like to hear more about from a foot and ankle surgeon, specialist podiatrist out here in Houston, Texas, stick with me and we'll get to it. Now, sweaty feet can be a common problem. I see it all the time. It could be from nervousness, from just anxiety, or just your general body morphology. Now, it is normal to sweat in a hot weather circumstance, or if you're wearing super thick clothes and things like that. But there are some people, they could be in a freezer, okay, and they would still be sweating. And we call that term hyperhidrosis. And it can be very uncomfortable because one of the things that they may complain about is their socks get wet all the time. They may have dry, scaly, itchy foot or feet even when they're sweating a lot. And so that becomes a problem to them, and they just have a hard time dealing with it, and they don't want to deal with it. So how do we solve this problem, and what are the things that you can do at home to try to get feeling better? Now, you may have heard the term prevention is better than cure. And so what does that mean? It means that one of the things that you may want to do is take a journal or an account of when you find that you sweat a lot. Are there certain situations that cause you to sweat much more than others? Is there something that you're doing? Are you in certain types of clothes and things like that? Because then we know prevention is better than cure. You can prevent the situation or the environment or the outfit or whatever that may make you sweat more. Also, I tell this to all my patients. If you sweat a lot and you are especially dealing with fungus, you should take an extra pair of socks. What that'll do is help to dry your foot, because once you take that sock, you take your original socks, after it gets wet, maybe by lunchtime, you can switch it out to the clean, dry sock. And in between that cleaning or in between that changing, you can actually treat your foot and apply some of the other things that I'm going to talk about that will help you with sweat. Now, speaking of socks, a lot of people have this misconception that cotton socks are better. Actually, they are good at absorbing liquid, but guess what? They keep that liquid there. So it's held in your shoes and that liquid just sits around. So some of the material or fabric of socks that are great for sweaty feet include nylon, some wool, make sure that you are checking for those. There are some other synthetic materials as well that are really, really work, but nylon or wool are really, really good at absorbing and wicking away and keeping it away from your skin. So those kinds of fabrics are made to hold that fluid and prevent them from releasing that fluid onto your skin, which will then cause you to feel that icky feeling and then encourage fungal or bacterial growth, which will lead to stinky feet. Another tip of something that you could do is to actually apply some antiperspirant. So believe it or not, the same antiperspirant that we use under our arms will work in the feet, because our feet has 125,000 sweat glands, give or take some. So that is a lot of sweat glands that you're going to be trying to be battling with. So an antiperspirant will be great. After you take a shower in the morning, dry your foot up really, really nicely, and then you just apply an antiperspirant. Remember, that is different from a deodorant. If you have a deodorant, make sure it also has antiperspirant, which usually is aluminum. So you can apply that between your toes and the bottom of your toes, and that will control the sweat throughout the day. Also, you want to be making sure that the kind of shoes that you're wearing are breathable. You want something with leather or something that just kind of allows you to breathe, that has holes in it or is ventilated pretty well. If you're wearing some sort of patent shoe, or maybe some shoe that is made of synthetic fibers that doesn't allow air to circulate through your foot, that will encourage sweat within your foot when you're putting your shoes in. So you want to be mindful of the types of shoes that you're wearing, considering the situation. Now, let's say you work in a warehouse or a factory or something that doesn't let you to take your shoes out. If you're buying your shoes, make sure that you are investing in high quality materials. You want these shoes to last you a long time. And while they're lasting you a long time, and while you're in there 8, 12, 16 hours a day, you want them to be doing the best thing. So if you're going to wear steel-toed boots, make sure that you have good leather ones. If it's a steel-toed sneaker type shoe that you're going to wear, make sure that it's well ventilated, because that will give you the opportunity to be able to have air flow through your foot and try to dry some of that sweat that your foot is producing. Another thing that you could do, aside from stuff that we talked about, is apply alcohol. Now that is a little controversial. There are certain people that I don't want applying alcohol to their foot. And remember, this is not medical advice. These are just some tips that you can use at home to make you feeling better. So what that means is you can apply, if you have diabetes, if you have blood flow issues, if you have skin discoloration, cold skin on your foot or your legs, this is not for you. But just swabbing the bottom of your foot in between your toes with some alcohol could sometimes even help. Also, betadine or iodine. We have betadine or iodine over the counter here in the US. Back home, I'm Nigerian, so we have iodine. Now, there is going to be some staining, some discoloration, yellow or purple, depending on if you're using betadine or iodine. Now, those may cause some staining, but that'll definitely dry out your feet and prevent sweating. Also, like I said, you take a pair of socks, you should also, or may be able to also take a different pair of shoes. That way, if you also have fungus in the midst of the sweaty foot, you can actually change your socks or even change your shoes during lunch and during a break and things like that, and it'll help to keep your foot dry. You can also use antifungal powders that are sold over the counter. These antifungal powders have their deodorizer and they make your foot smell nice. They help absorb that sweat, and they're also fighting fungus. So if you work a long job where you're working 8, 12, 16, 18, or maybe even 24 hours in closed-toed shoes, you take an extra pair of socks, an extra pair of shoes, deodorant, some baby wipes, and some antifungal foot powder. During your break, remove your shoes and your socks, use the baby wipe to clean your foot and make sure that you are drying them properly. When you are done, you can apply some antiperspirant on there, or you can apply some antifungal powder, or do both. If you are a super sweater, you can actually do both. And then put on your new pair of shoes and socks and go about the rest of your day. Another thing that you could be doing at home in between visits or in between all of these things that you're doing is actually soaking your foot in black tea. The tannins in black tea actually help to temporarily close the pores of your foot. So what that does is you can do that for about 20 minutes a day. Soak your foot in it. It'll close it, and you may do it daily. I would suggest you start maybe 2 or 3 times a week. And if you see that you need to do it daily, then you can up it. Again, this is just a tip. Try it out and let me know down in the comments how it worked for you. Now, if all of these work, but you want something that's gonna last a little bit longer, my suggestion will be for you to get BOTOX. Yes, you heard me right, BOTOX. Now, what does BOTOX do? BOTOX, like just in the face and everywhere else, what it does, disables the muscles around the sweat glands. And so they're not able to contract anymore and push all that fluid out. You can actually have relief for about 3 to 6 months, depending on you, depending on how sweaty your foot is and things like that, all right? This has to be done by a medical professional, and they apply BOTOX to the entire bottom of your feet, especially the areas that touch the ground and sweat, and that will last you, again, 3 to 6 months. So if you are interested in BOTOX for super sweaty feet, leave a comment down below or even send me a DM on Instagram or on TikTok. We will be able to schedule an appointment for you and get that going for you so you can have sweat relief for a long time and not having to do all these other things as often as possible. All right, thanks for sticking with me till the end. I've given you some tips on how you can solve some of your super sweaty feet problems. If you have any questions, leave them down below. If this is your first time, I'm Dr. Show, Fly for Doctor. I am a foot and ankle surgeon and specialist out here in Houston, Texas. If you would like to consult with me personally, follow the link down below and click on our website and book an appointment or give us a call. If you enjoyed this video, would you consider subscribing to our channel and sharing this video with your friends and family? I guarantee you there's someone in your circle that sweats a lot. They just don't want you to know, and they hide pretty well. So just share this on your social media. You will find that people will definitely find this useful and important. Thank you for sticking with me till the end. I'll see you next time. It's Fly for Doctor. Peace.